everyone. Welcome back to another Hearthstone deck Spotlight. My name is Tommy Wave and today we'll be taking a look at Woven's Odd Paladin. Deck comes to us courtesy of Hearthstone. I believe someone else submitted this. Sire Adam shared this deck. Big shout outs to Sire Adam as well for sharing what is a pretty interesting looking Odd Paladin. We are in the post-nerf meta, so we have lost level up. And I think a lot of people kind of predicted that some Odd Paladins would start looking towards the Mech archetype to start kind of injecting a bit more power into their game. We've previously played a lot of Mech Odd Paladins. I definitely feel like it was a solid step below regular Odd Paladin. Seems like a lot of kind of messing around to add not a lot of power to the deck. Yes, War Gear is tremendously powerful when you strap it onto a Glowtron or a Mecharoo or a Joey bot that's sitting around. But overall, the consistency of regular Odd Paladin was the thing that really gave it the check, for me at least. But now, without level up, without that potentially high rolling, getting a buff onto 5 Silverhand recruits and your opponent never being able to come back from that. We have War Gear is once again in the public eye. So we've got what is essentially a regular Odd Paladin list here with a couple of changes. We've got Mecharoo in the mix in the 1-drops as well. We have been seeing Glowtron a little bit, but now it's got a friend that it can magnetize to. In the 3-drops, we've also got Bronze Gatekeeper. And usually I don't really like Bronze Gatekeeper too much. In fact, we've played some Mech Odd Paladin decks that did not even include Bronze Gatekeeper. But I can definitely get behind it now that we have 2 Void Rippers in here. I think Void Ripper low-key kind of ties a lot of the cards in this deck together. Makes these Bronze Gatekeepers potentially attack buffs as well. Can turn our Stonehill Defenders into attackers as well. And to kind of augment things further, we've also got in the 5-drop slot, we've got War Gear, we've got Ziliax, and we've got Meccano Egg. And Meccano Egg, I think, is the most interesting card of the mechs. We've definitely played with every other mech card before, but not so much Meccano Egg. And that's why I'm saying that the Void Ripper kind of ties a lot of these themes together, because it can help you crack your own egg, it can help you flip all your defensive cards into aggressive cards, which is very important. But this doesn't come without a cost. When we talk about Hearthstone, a lot of people forget to talk about opportunity costs, particularly the opportunity costs of including cards in your deck. And unfortunately, having to commit, 2, 4, 6, 8, 8+ slots to mechs means we don't get to play some really high impact cards, most notably Vine Cleaver. Vine Cleaver is one of the best cards in Odd Paladin, as it gives you a heap of reach. The card represents 12 damage just by attacking face. It also gives you a lot of potential to get back into the game after a board clear. It really is just incredibly important to the archetype. I think it will be a card that we are sorely missing. The other cards that we lose access to, cards like Corridor Creeper, which is once again another excellent way to get back into the game after a board clear, as well as a couple of the other 1-drop options, cards like Firefly, cards like Saronite Taskmaster, and Argent Squire, which are all fairly important. Having more powerful 1-drops certainly just gives you a lot of advantage in the early game. So we're going to be keeping an eye on essentially just all the mechs and how they cooperate together, if they cooperate together, and how powerful they are as an inclusion to the deck, and especially comparing them to cards like, what if we had Vine Cleaver, what if we had Corridor Creeper, what if we had, the more general Odd Paladin cards, even cards like Frostwolf Warlord. Every time we play a War Gear, we'll be thinking in the back of our heads that, this could have been a Frostwolf Warlord, kind of comparing those two things. But without further ado, we'll jump into some games. Let's play some of Woven's Odd Paladin, Mech Odd Paladin, and see how we go.
To fight with honor.
Okay, up here against the Mage. Definitely sending all of these back. I think we can expect this to be Odd Mage or Big Odd Mage. We have a bit of a stinker on this hand. Going to be leaning on our hero power pretty heavily. Jimbo, you're the best. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Loving that positivity, fam. Oh my gosh, filling me with life. For those of you watching on YouTube, of course we do stream all of our videos. Got a lovely selection of people in chat right now, and you should come join us too. Not saved by the bell on this one, unfortunately. Only eight 1-drops in the deck outside of these Blessing of Mights, which is slightly concerning. I think I'm definitely more of a I definitely prefer the kind of 10 1-drop decks. Book of Spectres, this Melek Mage.
Amazing.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, if anything was going to give us a chance. I think I want to go for the Bronze Gatekeeper here, as it will let us deploy our Blessing of Mights next turn onto the Bronze Gatekeeper.
I wonder.
If we need to. And also sets up a mech for our war gear.
Access denied. The battle.
We'll try and play around Meteor, I guess. But if this is Melek Mage, no, it's Elementals, because they have the spell stuff. So it's a weird, like, very creature-heavy Elemental deck.
Reporting for duty.
Speak your peace.
The battle.
It's possible we could have maybe put the Acheris Veteran buff somewhere else and, like, traded one of our Silverhand recruits off. Oh, is this the dinosaur thing? Yeah. Oh, that's pretty bad. I guess we have to consider that our opponent
When Earth moves, empires fall.
doesn't have a lot of removal. So we could war gear and attack. Kind of tempted to just go like Meccano Egg, Righteous Protector, so we can get a Fungal Mancer on both of these eggs. We could crack both of our eggs, but I don't think I want to do that.
Mushroom power!
Still pretty scared of cards like Blaze Caller.
When Earth moves, empires fall.
Not scared of these cards, but they are really frustrating, hey? Why would you want this out? This Divine Favor is going to get really bad really quickly, so... Get the opportunity to deploy it. Mountain Giant. Do want to save this, probably with a Glowtron. But we could also, like... We could... Void Ripper... Like, Glowtron here and attack, or Bronze Gatekeeper here and attack.
I wonder.
No, that wouldn't be lethal.
Converting stored energy. Access denied.
What is the top 3 decks to climb to Legend with? I mean, it depends what you wanna, how you wanna climb to Legend, Foxwolves. There's a couple of different kind of ideologies behind it. Some people prefer decks that climb really quickly. It allows you to very quickly discern if you're in a good position or a bad position, and then move from there. Let's go for Void Ripper first.
Out of my jungle.
Yeah, there's a couple of different ideologies. You can go for, like, do I want to play an aggro deck so that I can just get the games out quicker? Because, you know, if you maintain a 55% win rate, then you just need to get the games in, right? So if you had a deck that even had a 60% win rate, but the games took twice as long, you know, it takes a long period of time for things to balance out. So I think usually people prefer aggro decks for climbing to Legend with. So decks like Beast Hunter would be very good. I think Odd Paladin is still in a fantastic place based off of the Odd Paladin that we played last week.
You cannot run.
We'll take these out just to... in case our opponent does draw Jaina, just give him a couple less options. But yeah, I would say probably an aggressive deck like that,
Brothers,
or possibly a deck like Even Warlock. I think Even Warlock can pose a lot of those decks a big problem. Double Defile, double Hellfire. Frost Elemental.
out of my jungle.
Enforcer or the Ziliax? Probably the Ziliax, right?
Unity, precision, perfection. To battle! To battle! Reporting for duty.
Yeah, so those will be kind of my choices to climb to Legend. I think if you jump over to HS Replay, you can usually find like a good choice for whatever ranks you're kind of climbing up.
This power is ecstasy.
I think there's also something to be said about climbing to Legend with a deck that you're just confident in. Or a deck that you want to learn more about. Because yes, you could spend, you know, very little time getting into Odd Paladin, learning Odd Paladin, or playing a deck that you've already played before. But sometimes just learning a new thing is genuinely quite fun. I'm trying to set up like a meteor here. Okay, how much is this? 1, 2, 3, 9, 17 plus 5 is 22.
Handle it!
Did we have lethal last turn? We probably did. I want to see that in the comments. I'll definitely see it. I'll be like, you had lethal. Timestamp. Looking forward to reading that comment. GG. Well played to our opponent.
To fight with honor.
Okay. So we've got the Mecharoo. If this was almost any other 1-drop, I'd consider keeping the Blessing of Might. The Mecharoo is just so vulnerable in the early game. So I think we'll have to send it back. We'll keep the Unidentified more. I think we'll send back the Void Ripper. Is this any good against Warlock? It could be good against like a Vulgar Homunculus or something like that. But try and find something different. Stonehill, great. Baku, bit of a break. Bit of a break.
We have turned our curse into our
Even
strength.
Alright.
None will survive.
So, do we have the tools to beat a turn 4 Mountain Giant? Seems unlikely. But we'll try. We don't really have to worry about it now.
Reporting for duty.
Maybe they just didn't have it. Maybe they are making the conscious decision.
Yes,
No, Ferratu, more controlling. Much!
Thank you.
Out of my jungle!
Take the 4-drop, or do I take the potentially good card? Just take the 4-drop.
The battle! The battle!
Drizzy Drake on the beat.
The light dim.
For justice! Reporting for duty. The battle! The battle!
Let's kind of keep that pressure on. This is a board that we're, I guess, pretty happy to have Hellfired or Defiled. If they do have Defiled, it does leave the Twilight. But on not a lot of health.
Shields up.
Shields up.
Ready to glow.
Reporting for duty.
I play a lot of Hearthstone, but playing new decks isn't easy without dust. That's true. So I need to spend all dust on one deck. I mean... Pally's busy thinking about boys. What? Yeah, What do we want to do here?
I wonder.
Extraordinary.
Mushroom power!
This
Still sent in by Morgan Baby. Keep amazing, Morgan Baby. Thank you.
Fox Wolves now riding the wave. Thank you for the follow. Do appreciate that. Yeah, I'm not too sure what the best solution to your like climbing a deck to legend. I think the main thing is that you should just choose a deck that you're gonna have fun with, to be honest. Because at the end of the day, if you're gonna sit out and jam out a whole bunch of Hearthstone over the course of a month, and there's the potential for you to just get stuck in like rank 3 hell, you really wouldn't want to be playing a deck that isn't very fun.
I wonder. Extraordinary. Reporting for duty.
We're dead to a Hellfire on this play, but I think we've just got to play risky at this point.
I wonder.
No silences in the deck does also hurt. Like, these Void Rippers are taking places of, you know, flex slots where Iron Beak Owl I think would usually go. Great. Thank you for waiting a good amount of time for the opponent. But yeah, I think that matchup's definitely very winnable, but yeah, I guess we just didn't really play into or around things very well, but it's all good. We definitely can learn to play better, but well played to our opponent.
I will fight with honor.
Alright, up against the Hunter here. Definitely keeping the Righteous Protector. I think we can send the other boys back. Nice. Hopefully, let's see if we can roll a good maul.
None will survive.
That's a pretty good one. That's a pretty bad one.
The light dims, but we fight.
Springport, you gonna attack? No. We're definitely attacking.
Reporting for duty.
Can't let our opponent get a Crackling Razor Maw off or a Headhunter's Hatchet. Is there a version of OTK probably under 10,000 dust? Definitely not. All those big control decks and stuff. Coining it out. Hatchet too. Yeah. I like this. I think our opponent made a good choice there.
Reporting for duty. To battle!
Save this Blessing of Might to put on something that has Divine Shield. Just make it a bit tougher.
To my side.
Ugh. Rough. Really rough.
I wonder. The battle for justice.
I hate this. I hate this. Our hand kind of lined up in a really clunky and awkward way. The first Vanguard Hey man, I followed you here a while ago, but this is the first time I got to watch your stream. Just want you to know that when I started playing a couple of months ago, your videos helped me a ton to learn stuff, and the first time I got rank 10 was using one of your decks. Awesome! That's so good to hear. I'm really glad that you got a lot out of those videos. Which deck did you get to rank 10? Which deck did you get to rank 10? Oh, definitely made my day. Unlike this hunter who is ruining my day. At least at least the headhunter's hatchet time is over.
For justice.
We get to build back up and start grinding. Is this the same selection of three things we got last game? I mean, next time we're probably just going to try and hero power again, so we'll go for the Omega Defender.
Reporting for duty.
Yeah, I'm so glad you got something out of those videos, Vanguard, and you're certainly not the first one to have lurked in my follows for a long time, for sure. Unfortunately, the Australian time zone doesn't really help in Spirit of the Link. Interesting. The Australian time zone certainly doesn't help people coming over from YouTube, unfortunately. If anyone's watching on YouTube right now, and you've been really hankering to get on a stream, don't worry. All in due time. We probably want a flippy rippy, right? Because then we can trade into this, trade into this.
Let me think. Reality breaks.
The battle. Reporting for duty.
Takes out that totem, of course. It's great. I was playing Face Hunter since I got Leroy from my starting classic packs, and the deck overall was very, very cheap. Yeah, I mean, Leroy's a great legendary to start off with. You're definitely going to get a whole heap of value out of Leroy. I think Leroy's definitely that tier 1 legendary craft. Below that would be cards like Blood Mage Thalnos, then like Baku and Gen.
I wonder.
Handle it. To battle. To battle. Reporting for duty.
Again, we'll diversify our threats here. Our opponent has like a flanking strike or a baited arrow in their hand. We don't want to put all of our buffs on one minion. Yeah, wow. Our opponent had a good start. They had the 1-drop. They got both Razormaws. They had the Headhunter's Hatchet, and we had a bit of a clunky draw. So I think that might speak that maybe Odd Paladin does have a very, very good matchup against a lot of these Beast Hunters. So GG's, well played to our opponent. Alright, here up against the Hunter, I think we will just keep our 1-drops here. Been seeing a lot of the those budget Beast Hunters around. But we shouldn't be scared to... we shouldn't be surprised if our opponent's on Spell Hunter or... Spring Paw. Nope.
The light dims, but we
It can be tiresome to play that deck, but I think the learning curve of it is insane. I think that a deck that can push me to improve a lot in the game. Yeah, of course, talking about Odd Warrior there. I think that's very true. I think it's very true. Now, we have to kind of psychically try and discern if our opponent has played a Wandering Monster or any other trap. If it's any other trap, we do want to attack. If it's Wandering Monster, we don't want to attack. I think they'd keep Wandering Monster or discover it. So we'll just go with... If our opponent has next leveled us and played the Explosive Trap, then they get us. It's like 3:27 AM here, but I radar watch. I'd rather watch a good stream than sleep. Well, that's... There's definitely some shenanigans going on here.
To battle!
So it was a wandering
Live
monster.
to serve the Lich King.
Oh my gosh. Okay, good. So we didn't manage to damage the soul flame.
Reporting for duty.
Whew. Yeah, I always find watching streams or watching VODs really helps me get to sleep as well, even if it's this like a game I don't even play. Kind of want to get a Glowtron or a Mecharoo down. Probably Mecharoo, so that we can Warg in next turn.
I wonder.
So maybe Stonehill Mecharoo?
Of my jungle.
Primordial Drake. Is the game going to go that long? It could potentially. But Primordial Drake's so not... It's so anti-synergy. Maybe take the Mogashan Warden and try and Void Ripper it. That'll be fun.
I wonder.
We'll go for the Primordial Drake.
I must move quickly. The battle.
I mean, it's just so high power level, and I think there's a potential situation where we lose the board and Primordial Drake gives it back to us. When I play Odd Warrior, I never know how to win versus Spell Hunter or OTK Pally. Both very hard matchups, and you know I'm gonna keep saying it until someone tells me to stop saying it. But you know, Odd Paladin just doesn't have the same kind of late game as a lot of those other more powerful decks out there. You know, you really have to work to get your wins, and unfortunately, if you let the game go on too late, sometimes you will just stack. You will just stack.
Protocol 7. Converting stored energy.
Maybe we should have saved that coin for the Primordial Drake, actually. It's very hard to win against OTK Paladin. You've got to try being the aggro player and hope they don't have the pieces. Spell Hunter is more manageable, I believe. Gets really hard if they have an early Rexar, but Rexar is a pain in any matchup. That's very true. Rexar kind of 1v, kind of solo a lot of decks. Yeah, definitely played that last turn completely wrong. But that's okay.
Reporting for duty.
Access denied.
Speak your peace.
Definitely played that wrong. But that's okay. Definitely still learning here. I think that's the one thing that I really like about that odd quest warrior as opposed to odd warrior is that the quest is such a reasonable and reliable win condition that you can actually get out fairly early. Like in the matchups where you want an early win condition, they really don't pester you very much.
To battle.
No, can't get this one. Unfortunately, we goofed up. We used that coin when we certainly shouldn't have. I think we could have made some better decisions in the early game. So let me know if you're watching on YouTube or you're watching any of the VODs. How would you have tackled that kind of, you know, those turn 4 and 5, turn kind of 3, 4, 5, 6 plays? Do you think you would have tried to commit less to the war gear, commit less on that Mecharoo, try and play some more cards from hand? Do you think relying on the hero power is a better play? Let me know what you think. Keen to hear it. Okay, we are here with Woven's Odd Paladin. Just finished playing some games with this kind of mechy Odd Paladin thing. And there's a couple of things to like about the deck. You know, I like the some of the selections of 1-drops. I like that, you know, the Paladin Hero Power, the Odd Paladin Hero Power gives us so much ability to grind, you know, that we can use our Hero Power basically every turn from turn 2. And even if we played no cards from our hand, we'd probably still be in the game by turn 5. Which is definitely one of the big strengths of Odd Paladin. And that's kind of, I think, where the stuff I like about this deck ends. I think that a lot of the mech elements that are added to the deck don't add enough to the deck to warrant it being better than other Odd Paladin lists. I think it's very different. And most importantly, I think this version is very budget. So I think if you're a budget player looking for a budget deck to play, you know, Leroy and Baku are two of the best crafts right now. Two of the best legendaries for you to craft. Solid tier 1 and tier 2, respectively. So, you know, you can definitely get away without the Leroy. You definitely get away without the Ziliax. But all of those are pretty good crafts. And a lot of the rest of the stuff in this deck is common or basic as well. So if you want to get into Odd Paladin and don't have the Vine Cleavers, don't have all of those things, definitely consider playing this deck. But if you want a deck that's going to be strong, good for ladder, a lot of resiliency, I think look elsewhere. Look for the, for instance, the decks that we played, like the Sonagi's version here. I think this is a fantastic deck. We get to play all of the really high quality 1-drops. Got Glowtron in here, but we've got Righteous Protector, Lost in Jungle, Firefly, Acris Veteran. And we can make better use of our 5 and 7-drop slot by playing cards like Frostwolf Warlord, Corridor Creeper, which is another excellent tool to get back onto the board, which was one of the weaknesses that we had. That even though we do have you know, a card like Mechano Egg, which is resilient to board clears, that once our board does get cleared, if we don't have a Mechano Egg, we don't have a lot of ways to very quickly get it back onto the board, and that's exactly what Corridor Creeper and Vine Cleaver allow you to do. We also didn't have a lot of reach in the deck outside of Leroy Blessing of Might. So I think I would lean more towards this more traditional Odd Paladin deck rather than a mech Odd Paladin deck. But still, big shout outs to Woven for the deck. I think it's really interesting. It's always worth experimenting with these kinds of decks. Also a big shout out to Sire Adam for sharing the deck, for whipping this one up. If you are watching on YouTube, all the links are down in the description, including a link over to the Hearthstone deck article. Please, I implore you, jump over there, give this deck a +1, leave a lovely thoughtful comment. What do you think of Odd Paladin? Is it dead? What do you think of Mech Odd Paladin? Is it the second coming of the most dominant deck in recent history? All my links are down there in the description as well. If you want to come join me on Twitch, that's at Tommy_Wave. If you want to come follow me on Twitter, at Tommy_Wave as well. And until next time, stay safe, stay wavy, eat the rich, be odd, and have fun. Bye. I hope you enjoyed that video. Check out other ones over here, or come subscribe to the Wave Pool for more excellent times.